everybody, I'm Fiona and I thought I'd make a quick little video today because I've bought myself a Dragy. Now a Dragy is, and I'll show you, this is the box that it comes in. Yeah, it's nothing particularly special as far as the box is concerned. It comes with the very minimal instructions, a power cord and the actual Dragy device, which is really quite small. And the Dragy device allows you with your mobile phone, which I've connected up right now, to record quarter-mile times, as well as acceleration, 30 foot, 60 foot, 100 foot, 60 miles, 100 kilometers, all these different things. So I've picked one up, and I'm not going to do a quarter mile in the Supra on the streets, because by the time I get to the quarter mile, this car would be doing probably well in excess of 200 kilometers per hour or 100 and something mile an hour, and I don't want to do that. It's highly illegal and not very safe on the street, but I am going to test it out to see how quickly I can get up to the speed limit. Locally, the speed limit's generally about 100 kilometers an hour, although it does vary obviously on where you are. So today I thought I'd do a few pulls just to sort of give myself a bit of a baseline on the car before I start doing anything to it in the way of modifications. And I thought we'll give it a go and have a bit of fun with this. So before I go anywhere, I mean, I have warmed up the car, so I mean, we should be able to do a few pulls without too many problems. Whoa. Probably do a couple just to see how we go. Turn around. So this little stretch I'm using, it's a straight between two roundabouts. It's in the middle of literally nowhere, and there are a couple of cars hanging around this time of day because it is the evening. People are heading home. But there's not too many residents in this area, so there's a good chance that I won't really see anyone. Here we go. All right, last run. We're going for our best time. The road's clear. It. It's time to find a shady spot and let this thing cool down. Stop on the crest off the road where everyone can see us. Oh, let's see what's happening. What's going on? Cool. This isn't good. Oh, look. That's not good. And just that looks pretty hot. You can see there, the radiator end is cracked. Oh yeah, she's warm, alright. Still very warm. So we're just going to wait for that to cool down a little bit. Once that's cool enough, or if you dare, you can twist it off. Just be careful of the steam. The steam will burn you. It's boiling hot. Come back after a little while. It's still very warm, but it's not steaming anymore. You can see now, you can zoom right in, how that's cracked right along there. So this radiator pipe has come off. There's bits of radiator is probably just in here, or maybe in the tank. Alright, we'll have to see what we've got the way to fix this. You break down the middle of nowhere, what do? See what you got on you to try and fix it. Luckily for me, I have yes, that's right, I brought with me a brand new Mishimoto radiator. I did kind of cheat actually, because I knew this probably would happen. So I've been carrying, actually, let's grab this, one hand's probably not the easiest, but I've been carrying this Mishimoto radiator and a couple of bottles of water actually, just so that when this happens I can fix it. Haha! Radiator replacement video. To replace the radiator, I just have to obviously pull it out. They're not very hard to do, there's not a lot that gets in the way, and you'll be surprised how quickly this comes out. So with an 8mm, and take off the clamp on the hose, and the one at the other end as well. So I can pull out that radiator hose. Remember, this is still fairly warm, so just be a little bit careful if you're working on a warm engine, because this is warm. It's like, yeah, that's a bit hot actually. So with the actual top hose off, I'm just going to swap over to the 10mm socket. Now 10mm socket, if you actually have a stock gearbox, there's a screw there, and screw there, and screw there. So this one, once you take that out, this just comes off really easy actually, so we'll just put that aside. Now I like to put my nuts and bolts straight back, particularly being out in the field. I don't want to lose any of these parts, so that's just a little shoehorn. Put that aside. Put the screw back, just got the threads. Same on this side. Let's put that aside. A couple of threads. Now I am working from the top down on purpose because this car is still very warm. And I know I've been sitting here for a good 20 minutes now just to let it cool off, but it's going to take a little bit longer yet. Now also you'll see that there's a 10mm bolt here and here to hold the shroud onto the radiator. separates the shroud from the radiator. You can see it's loose. Okay, so now the tricky part is all the things that are underneath. It's probably a little bit difficult for me to show you, considering I don't really even have a jack, so I'm just going to be sort of lying on the ground. But there's a radiator hose to disconnect down there. If your car's automatic, there'll be the automatic lines as well, which is a little bit trickier. And then anything else is plugged in down there. Okay, so you can see the lower radiator hose just there. And then right next to that, you can see that's an automatic line. Normally there would be a hose connected to that, but since I did the manual conversion, no more. Of course, there's another one at the other end. Okay, so once you've disconnected the shroud, and it does take a little bit of wiggle jiggle, just make sure you get all the clearances right, but you can get that out. The reason why you can get it out is because there's like a half moon missing. There is actually a piece that's supposed to go there, but I've long since lost that. So there you can see a radiator hose I've disconnected down here. I don't really want to lose all my fluid, but still. And then over on this side we have a plug, temperature sensor. That was an easy job. It's not the best looking radiator, I will say, but we'll pour this out, let it drain dry, and we'll start putting in a new one. Alright, there's the old radiator. Important to note, obviously the automatic cooler lines are not used, and in fact the new radiator doesn't even have those. We do have this one sensor I need to transfer over, but beyond that it should be a direct fit. But you look for things like, see here we've got a rubber grommet. It stayed on the radiator, but obviously that actually just needs to go on the new radiator, and that's what you're looking to do at this stage, just to transfer any bits and pieces over so it's same for same. This sensor, I'm just I don't have a lot of tools with me, so I'm just going to use a shifter for this one. That was easy enough. Look at that, it goes straight in. It's like it was made for it. Of course it was, but you know. Alright, so with that done, radiator's now ready to go in. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm plugging in the sensor for the bottom. So with the shroud attached loosely to the radiator, we can slide this whole thing in. Alright, so I know I'm only putting water in it for now, but I will have to flush out the system anyway, because this is tap water and I will be using deionized water, but I need to flush the whole system through in the near future anyway, so this is a temporary solution. It'll get me home and I'll fix and finish what we're doing today. I think it's full enough to get home anyway. Right, we're losing light. So I've been here probably an hour all up. It is a pretty small job. It's made a little bit more difficult doing so on the side of the road, but it's not so hard that you can't. I think the biggest issue was having to wait for the engine to cool down. Anyway, do this at home. That's all from me. I'll see you next time. Bye.